That blessed, and with life, right? You can't have the sweet without the sour. Lost my badge 3 times. I know, you're saying, I don't understand. How could that happen, John? Right, thank you. I appreciate the support. Had the badge taken 3 times. Investigated by the FBI for civil rights violations. That's always fun. You get called into the office by 2 special agents. Anybody from the FBI here? All right, we can talk then. We can talk openly. Those are sneaky pricks. You never know if the case is closed. It could never really be closed. So you go into the office and you sit down because you think it's about the job application you put in with them a year ago, and then you find out you're the subject of an ongoing investigation. Alcoholic, addict, and adulterer. And I'll stop with the A's, all right? Because if we go to the B's, C's, and D's, this is going to run more than 90 minutes. I say alcoholic, addict, and adulterer. It's a label, right? I fucking hate labels, man, because it keeps you stuck. I had a problem with drinking. I took care of it. Why am I still an alcoholic? I haven't had a drink in 27 years. We hold on to these labels. Thank you. No, listen, I thank you. Listen, that was probably the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, to give you some measure of how bad things got. But we stick with labels, man. We don't ever forgive ourselves when we keep and we hang on to that label. Right? So today, we're going to talk about shame, guilt. I'm going to talk to a room full of adults about how to take care of yourself. What? Why do Tom and I have a job? Because we don't. You spend an entire shift, an entire life caring for other people at the expense of ever giving a shit about yourself. So in our brief time together, we're going to talk about our personal, professional, financial, physical, and mental health and the role that you play in your life. God bless. The role that you play in your life. There's a lot of sneezing going on here. Was it the Cuban coffee? Does anybody have an EpiPen? All right, good. We'll keep an eye on you. All right. So we're going to talk about our relationships. We're going to talk about how you make that better. Real, tangible skill sets. We're going to talk about work and your misguided loyalty to an agency that doesn't give a shit about you. We're going to talk about your finances, because we all do pretty well, man, so it's not enough. It's not that we don't make enough. It's how we spend it. It's how we spend it. We're going to talk about our physical health. And last but certainly not least, our mental health and what it means to be strong enough to give a shit about you. And how we get there. Cool? Absolutely. All right, cool. I wrote a book, and no, it's not in crayon. Surviving Self-Inflicted Wounds. It's the title of this presentation, because you don't know what you don't know. And it took me to the end to figure it out. And so there's a moral obligation for me to share and care that you maybe don't make the same mistakes. I think there's a moral obligation. If we're going to be in this thing, this thin blue line that we propose to care about, we're going to start acting like it, man, because we shit on each other, don't we? All right, this is probably not a good idea, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. If you got a question, send me a text. I did this in a room of 1,000 cops in July, and I was just like, you dumbass, why did you do that? Oddly enough, I didn't get any inappropriate photos. I was expecting to. I would have bet a paycheck that they were going to be showing up, with the bathroom scene in the background. But thankfully, you know what I got? I got texts from guys saying, every day I wake up, I try to find a reason not to kill myself. Humbled me? I don't know what to do with my wife. We're living separate lives. Listen, disclaimer, I'm a knucklehead. I did 30 years. I have no training on how to deal with people. I know people that do, right? It saddened me to know that many people in a room were in that much pain. See, because your problems are my problems, brother, and my problems are yours. And if we can just get over the fact that everybody's got shit, maybe we can start just being a little kinder to each other, right? Maybe that would be a good start. And then once you get your act together, you become part of the solution in somebody else's life. How about that, man? That's what I'm talking about. And all these things, we're good at pointing fingers. You don't know my boss, you don't know bullshit. It starts and ends with you. And that's the beauty of all of this, right? We find comfort in being a victim. Oh, shit, I got fucked over again. Oh, you know. You won't find refuge here for that bullshit. If you're the problem, the beauty is you are the solution. It's that simple. And when we deflect and blame, we stay stuck. Cool? All right. I want you to listen. I want you to reflect. I want you to think about, is anything that I'm talking about today, does it apply to me? And if it doesn't, maybe it applies to somebody in my circle. Maybe this is a call to action. Just maybe. Self-care. You taking care of you. It's one of the things that we abandon immediately when we enter this profession. Oh, you know, I used to. Man, I used to. And then we allow this profession to consume us and drive us from our families. We allow that. Listen, if you're on the job for more than a year and you're having a trouble figuring this shit out, find a new profession. It's not for you. It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard. You know where we fail and falter? It's with life. See, because nobody ever told you or showed you how to be a better parent, spouse. When was the last time, and don't somebody raise your hands, I'll punch you in the mouth. When was the last time you went to a class that instructed you and gave you the skill sets to be a better spouse? Anyone? There's going to be one of your smart asses is going to raise your hands. No? Thanks for making my point. At the height of my self-destruction, I checked every box. I was spiraling. We're going to talk about those dark times, but more importantly, we're going to talk about solutions and how we get out of those dark times. Optimism, resiliency, emotional intelligence, mindfulness, peak performance, all these great buzzwords. What the hell does it mean? About how we live our lives, how we take care of ourselves, and how we commit. See, you commit to an agency to be an awesome employee. You're all in. Are you all in with you, man? The threat of AI, man. AI, right? You hear that all the time, right? Robots and shit going to take over the world. It's not artificial intelligence, man. It's alcohol and infidelity. It's alcohol and infidelity, man. That's where listen, do we accept unacceptable behavior in this thing of ours? Yeah. Mm-hmm. We do it all the time. We do it all the time. We actually applaud. It's kind of messed up. You're a dysfunctional group. Thank you for acknowledging that. Yeah. We need to stop accepting unacceptable behavior. First within ourselves, because if you got a piece on the side, I can't call you out if I have a piece on the side. It doesn't work that way. If you're drinking too much and it's a problem, I can't be there for you if I'm doing the same thing. You know the old adage, misery loves company? Well, unacceptable behavior is like a magnet, man. We're drawn to each other because we know we're safe in that messed up world. Make sense? All right. So this room is very educated on suicide awareness and all that good stuff. If somebody says smash the stigma in here, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. It's not about the stigma. It's about how you live your life and the decisions you make. I'm going to talk about relationships and suicide. We know for every bad guy that kills one of us, 2 to 3 take our own lives. Do we not know? Everybody knows that, right? Yep. We know that half of those suicides are the result of a breakup or a divorce. So how much training do we do for you to keep that relationship intact at home? Somebody. Zero. Number one killer. Number one killer of cops. The number one reason why you don't go home. And we won't spend the time to let you go to your kid's t-ball game or to let you work in a date night. You got to be here, man. You're indispensable. We can't run the shift without you. That's the bullshit you believe. Got to change that. It starts with making informed decisions. And you caring more about your family than you do about work. And it's hard, man, because work's easy. Shit. I was a superstar at work. Medals, accommodations. John's here. I go home, I'm just John. I got to work at it, man. I'm nobody at home. Don't raise your hand. Has there ever been a time in your career or your life that you didn't want to go home? That you'd rather stay at work? That's messed up. I was working 70 hours a week under the guise of providing for my family. That's the bullshit I told myself. We can be better. We just got to have the conversation first and foremost, right? See, listen, I love you all, but I don't give a shit what you think about me. I could care less. This is where you care and seek approval from people that have no standing in your life. And the people that you should give a shit about, you pass on, man. That's what you do.